there was an Iraqi, he had a machine gun as well, firing at me, and his weapon jammed. Then I got the first shot off. That was the first time I ever killed anyone. And I never wanted to ever harm anyone or ever have to go through that situation.
Carlin couldn't see a future for himself. He couldn't get past being stuck of where he was because of the nightmares and he just couldn't go there.
Carlin, when he showed up that first night, was very tense, very skeptical. He was, by his own terms, drinking himself to sleep every night because his nightmares would get to him so badly.
It's amazing what I was doing with alcohol. Like some people would do with like deep drugs.
Yes.
It was like I'd wake up and drink, and I'd drink the entire day.
And the lack of hope has sent him into, I can't do this life. You know, I'm gonna go back. I have to go back. I have to re-enlist. That's all I know. That's all I know how to do.
There are people bringing up stuff they've never talked or exposed to anybody else. They are touching affect that's like the atomic bombs of their mind.
There was a small child walking up to the post, and he just blew up. He blew up, and
yep.
You know, arms and legs went everywhere.
Okay. How do you feel when you tell me that?
Pretty sick.
I don't know where I'd be if I wasn't able to tap on myself hearing what this young man has had to put up with.
Because hearing the women screaming and the girls, like the children screaming with them and looking at us like, you know, y'all are here, y'all are the reason why my child's dead.
Okay. And then helping him take piece by piece, unpack it, and dilute it. And so that was exhilarating because within a day, he's not smoking. He doesn't care about the drinking. And I said to him, well, because we've taken care of what you needed to completely obliterate with alcohol and cigarettes. What would you say?
Say the screaming of the women and children, 0.
Zero.
It's gone.
Good. So are they all 0?
Yes.
Brains?
I don't feel guilty for...
No guilt. Okay. Brains splattered all over the floor.
0.
Blood everywhere.
0.
Body parts all over you.
0.
Okay. And it's my fault.
0.
Great. So no nightmares?
No nightmares. Woke up feeling good.
Great. How is your jaw today?
I don't feel any pain.
And the neck that is usually, I know, from the jaw?
Right.
That
it's
okay?
0. Yeah.
Okay. How are your hands?
It's better than yesterday.
That is much better. I can see that.
Yeah.
That's the tremor.
Before I did the EFT thing, for me to say, I'm happy, that would just be weird for me to say, just to say out loud to myself. And I say it probably 10 times a day now.
And I saw this lieutenant trying to move, and I tried to get to the helicopter and grab his foot to see if I couldn't pull him out. But the flames were just too high, and it just burned and basically blew up, and we sent back the 3 body bags.
I had chosen to leave my husband because he was getting very, almost like a lot of violence. He was threatening to shoot the children and me on a consistent basis.
Because of the PTSD?
Yes. We all lie to you because we're afraid of you, not because we want to lie to you or because we hate you. We love you, but if we tell you the truth, you get angry about situations, very angry.
A person comes back with PTSD and it can destroy the family. You have a person now who is not sleeping, who becomes abusive, who becomes addicted to drugs and alcohol. So you have families torn apart.
Maybe it's been too many years. Maybe it's been too long a time. Maybe I've wreaked too much havoc inside of my life and that of my children, my wife, and everybody else around me.
He's a veteran and he has had all the symptoms and we've been in the psych ward for years. I've had therapy, and in 3 days we're talking. And we haven't talked in 5 years, really talked and had a conversation. These men should have their families supporting them on a consistent basis for many years. They shouldn't lose their wives, they shouldn't lose their children because they serve this country.
I can't emphasize enough how important it is that you can actually feel like a real person again and not be afraid and not have to cover up all of your junk every single day of your life.
But when you're doing something new that people don't have a frame of reference for, you have a higher burden of proof. And I think, in fairness to the public, you should have a higher burden of proof.
While Gary Craig was working with the veterans you're seeing on this video, I was also gathering data on their psychological and mental conditions. Their scores on standard measures of PTSD used by the military was 63% between before the event and after that week of treatment. Their scores for anxiety and depression dropped by more than half, and when we retested them at points in the future, they held most of those gains.
While we say clinically, look, what we notice is I'm sitting with my client who's got a traumatic issue going on, and the client, I'll call it downregulates, returns to center, calms. That's observable, it's obvious. But if you can show that there's an immediate cortisol change, and cortisol is a chemical that's being used to measure stress response, then you're not just saying it's an observation, which maybe we could argue about, did that happen or not, but we can say it's that plus there was a physiological change.
You looked at people's cortisol levels before and after 1 hour of treatment with either EFT or regular psychotherapy or no treatment at all. We discovered that with EFT, people's cortisol levels drop by an average of 25% in a single hour.
People like me, who were very, very skeptical about energy psychology methods in the beginning, have become very, very enthusiastic about them because of one thing and one thing only. It's called results.
It is my conviction that EFT should be in every VA center in the country. But they're just not able to do this job for the vets with conventional stuff.
But we've got the most incredible, powerful healing tool that this planet has ever seen, and we need to get it to the people who need it.
On this website, if you click on the Find Help button, you will find lists of therapists both inside the VA system and also in private outpatient clinics that treat veterans with PTSD. Most of these therapists will treat people at low cost or no cost. They'll also treat the families of PTSD veterans, because living with someone with PTSD can be very, very difficult.
These energy psychology methods in general, EFT in specific, are uncanny in their ability to produce results really rapidly.
I don't know any place anywhere that would take on this group of folks with all of these challenges, and yet we were able to help. I can't think there's a single person we didn't help materially.